It's all about Gloucester. It's all about dayboat fish. It's all about whiting for this recipe. This is whiting. It's in the hake family. And when I mentioned this is a dayboat Gloucester fish, why is dayboat fishing important to not just Gloucester but other fishing communities? Well, seasonal, local, regional. We have our head around it when it comes to tomatoes and strawberries, but maybe not so much with fish. When you buy fresh, local ingredients, you're getting a very healthy fish for you and your family, but you're also supporting a community. When I said healthy, healthy means omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3 fatty acids are something that your body needs, but it's unable to produce itself. Fish is loaded with it. So fresh, local, seasonal, regional fish from Gloucester, from the boats that go out in the morning and come back that day. If you want more information about any of the recipes that we're working on today, just go to gloucesterfresh.com and all the information will be there. So whiting, it's in the hake family. It's a beautiful, abundant fish from the cold, beautiful, pristine waters off of Cape Ann here in Massachusetts. We mentioned before, your whole fish should be firm to the touch, clear eyes. These gills should be bright red, like that. That means that's a fresh fish, and it doesn't smell like fish. It smells like the ocean. I'm just gonna give my hands a wash, and we're gonna get started with the recipe. So to cook the fish, we took the whole fillet, gutted it, trimmed it up a little bit, olive oil, and then wrapped it in tin foil. And depending on the size of the fish, will depend on how long you want to cook it. We put it in a pretty hot oven, 400 degrees, about 25-30 minutes. Let it cool down. And now I'm going to open it up. Oh, this is beautiful. You all see that? Look at that. Beautiful, firm, white fish, very similar in flavor to cod. In fact, they're cousins, the hake and the cod. Okay, so we're not going to be doing a fillet fish. We're not going to be doing a steak. We're going to actually be making a dip out of this fish. So this is great for the holidays. It's great for even a Tuesday night. The fish is cooked. I'm going to scrape off the skin, like so. Comes off very, very easily. See that? And you can see that beautiful, firm, white, healthy fish under there. And the skin is edible. But because we're going to be pureeing it with some other ingredients, I want to keep that color out. I want it to be just sort of white. And then I take the flesh off the bone just by a simple scraping motion. It comes right off that center bone. Okay? So you can see that spine running right down the middle. And then I just pick up these pieces and I'm going to put them in the food processor. And as I'm peeling this off the skin, I'm just I want the pieces to be in sort of large bits, but I'm making sure there's no bones in there. Because we are going to pulse it in the food processor, but we're not going to puree it within an inch of its life. Okay, so we've got the whiting in the bowl of the food processor in kind of big chunks. To it, we're going to add some scallion, mascarpone cheese, which is very similar to cream cheese, a little bit of lemon for flavor, and then maybe some salt and pepper. We're going to taste it and see where we're at, and some beautiful, fresh dill. Now, you could leave the dill and the scallion out and add Chinese 5-spice blend, or curry, or togarashi, or any flavorings that you wanted. You could put hot peppers in there. Really, today we're doing scallions and the dill, but whatever flavor profile that makes sense for you is how you can change this, because this is going to be just a nice dip for you to have. All right, the scallion. I say about 2 or 3 scallions in the recipe, but it really depends on the scallions, because some scallions have a lot of the white part grows that way, depending how deep they were in the soil, and some of them have a lot of green part. We want mostly the white part. I peeled off the outer edge that was a little not so fresh and beautiful. I'll trim off the root end, save that, and then trim off about 2 inches or 3 inches off the top. Cut that in half, and then I'm going to cut these pieces into 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch pieces, because even though we're going to be pulsing them in the food processor, we're going to help the blades along just a little bit by making the pieces a little bit smaller to start with. Don't worry about it too much. And I have some other scallion in the bowl there. In she goes, scallion. And then this is the mascarpone cheese, and it's the Italian cousin of cream cheese. And I'm going to use the culinary term, just blop it into the bowl, like so. I'm going to start with an initial squeeze of lemon, and then I'm going to taste it. Oh, the dill. Love the dill. Don't want to forget about the dill. I'll just pick off the top. And again, just like the scallion, you don't have to finely chop it because the food processor is going to do most of the hard work for you, but you do want to give it a start. And I think I've showed you this before. When you're chopping herbs, rather than taking one piece of dill and cutting it up, grab the whole pile, ball it up, right? As tight as you can make it. And then that way, when you're slicing through, you're cutting through 216 pieces of dill, not one, right? Does that make sense? I'm chopping like that. Most of the work done for you. Into the bowl, lid goes on the food processor, and I'm going to pulse it, not just press the button on puree, okay? And sometimes the cream cheese or the mascarpone sits on top and is kind of doing this. We're just going to get in there and help it out a little bit. Pack it down and pulse. And you just pulse it until you have the consistency that you want it to be. And now I'm going to check it. Beautiful. Oh, this looks great. Make sure you splatter it all over the kitchen. That's important to the recipe. It makes it taste better. Okay, I'm going to give it a little taste, see where we're at. And you can see that's already beautiful. It's delicious, needs a little bit more lemon. You could also salt and pepper it if you like. I like to brighten things up with citrus. One more pulse and we should be good to go. I'm going to taste it again, but this time using this end of the spoon. Fantastic. I have a serving plate here. This is going to be the bowl we're serving it in. I have celery sticks, crackers, and very thinly sliced radishes for dipping. You could also use toasted rye bread, toasted whole wheat bread, saltines, carrots, whatever you like. And I have the tips of the celery leaves as our garnish. So into the bowl it goes. You can make this, wrap it up very tightly, and freeze it so that you have unexpected guests or a neighbor moves in or a celebration unexpected. Take it out, let it come to room temperature. You're good to go. Great for the holidays. Into a nice serving bowl. I suppose you could even make a sandwich out of it. And those celery leaves that I talked about, I'm just going to pop them in on the side for a little pop of color. And you're ready to have friends over.